knac.com. Welcome back, Francisco here. I'm here with Christian Larson, the brains, the mastermind behind one of today's most outrageous festivals that really focuses on the extreme side of metal with a lot of underground talent, plus a lot of legends. In this edition of Hell's Heroes, edition number 7. Congratulations. That's pretty awesome. Quite an
Thanks.
accomplishment. How you doing, Christian?
Everything's good. Just working on a bunch of stuff for the fest, going crazy, all the fun stuff.
This year you have so many people to name. You have Cavalera, you have Saxon, Anabath headlining a couple of dates, right?
And
Saxon,
it's Crimson Glory, I think, is headline Friday. Just so many bands though. I mean,
so many
I don't
bands.
know, like
Raven,
60 bands, something like that. It's insane.
yeah, Goldwhore, LA Zone, Sadistic Intent, Coroner, so many bands to name. Um, Thanks for your time. And I want to kind of talk about what, in your opinion, are some of the bands that people should really check out besides like as much as everything going on, what are some of the bands that are kind of your favorites that people should check out?
I'm pulling it up so I don't forget because there's so many damn bands. Uh, let's see. On the smaller range of things, I would definitely say check out Castle Rat set should be pretty rad. I haven't actually seen them, but I mean it's super theatrical.
No.
Mail, swords, all the fun things. Uh, what else? Night Eternal. I really love them. German heavy metal band. Blood Ceremony should be great. I haven't seen them in years. Hell Ripper's their first time in America. So, I mean, that shit should be good. Just one of the things I'm most excited about is Primordial. I love Primordial. it's, other
They
than
came
that,
through here at LA not too long ago, and they were just like my first time seeing them. I was like, "Fuck, these guys are bad," and everybody was singing. I was like, "Amazing!"
and some other stuff like Crimson Glory hasn't played in the States in a very long time. That Sam IL set with them doing some old records is going to be super rad.
Oh, yeah. What was going on in your mind that kind of led you to like, you know what, I'm going to put on my own festival?
Well, I do like I'm a promoter, so I just kind of do show. I do shows all the time.
Okay.
And I had done some fest here and there, but I really wanted like before I started, I've been trying. I wanted to do like a traditional metal fest in the South. And it took me a couple years to get it going, but when I did it, people really responded to it well.
Hmm.
So then it kind of just kept going after that, like organically, if you will, just kept growing. And I just combined like the newer bands and the older bands in this like scene. And I branched out a little bit more with that. Now there's a little bit of black metal and some other stuff, but it started like super traditional, but which is still there, except after some point I start running out of traditional bands. So, but there's thrash in it, other things like that, doom. So
Yeah, you
there's
want
a
to do a
lot
bit
of
of
reasons
everything.
to it, except it's kind of just like what I think works for it.
Hmm. Is your primary focus to keep it like really like underground and not so? I hate to use the word commercial, but like not like too many big
I
and
mean,
mainstream.
it just depends because there's like some stuff like I could have some European bands that are in Europe are considered commercial as fuck, but in the States are kind of underground. Or they not underground, but just well less known.
Less, yeah.
But also like Saxon's not like some like unknown band, but but it's more of like it's exactly what this festival is.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't. It has to like anything a book has to stay in this world. Like it wouldn't go outside. If it was something big, like God forbid, I could get like Judas Priest or something to play one year or something would be great. But but it's not going to. There's not going to be like anything like new and mainstream unless like randomly one of these bands in this like in kind of this world somehow like breaks out and becomes huge.
Sure, but I mean, you never know with these festivals. I mean, like the
Yeah.
popularity, like I mean, that's like kind of the idea behind this is like all these bands hoping to get more attention, more light shed on them, because
Yeah.
a lot of these bands are just phenomenal, really great, like the ones you mentioned. And I also wanted to talk about the projects that you're into. Is it Necrofire or Necrofear?
Necrofire. Yeah.
Necrofire. And you guys are playing with some pretty interesting shows coming up with Beherit, right?
We're doing Beherit in Mexico City. We're also doing that the other Mexico Fest in Monterey with that Bathory tribute with Eric from Watain and just a whole cast of celebrity black. I mean, like just like all the dudes from all the bands doing it.
Oh,
I saw
wow.
that thing last year. It was amazing, so I'm really excited about that.
Nice. I think
But, I
this
mean,
coming.
we stay busy though.
Oh, good, good. I didn't see like if you guys had a record coming out soon or if you just released one.
We're working on a new record, but it's there. It probably if it's out maybe later this year, maybe beginning of next year. We'll see.
Your other band, Night Cobra, is also on the bill for Hell's Heroes. Is that
Yeah, we're
right?
playing this year.
Very
Nightcurve is
cool.
still like we're working on a new record as well, which will be out probably next year. I'll go with maybe into this year. Who knows?
Nice. Both independent releases, or do you have your own label?
Night Cobra is currently independent. I don't know who's gonna be releasing it. Necrofire Season of Mist released our last record.
Season of Mist. Season of Mist is really great label. One of my favorites. Um, you being like dedicated to the underground, and a lot of this is like DIY. Tell us the importance of just like really getting in there, getting your hands dirty, and all the trials and tribulations that you go through, and just like having your own band, booking a big metal festival like this, um, and this festival started in 2018, correct? Like there must have been a lot of like trial and error leading up to this point.
There, I mean, yeah, trying different things, because I done some like little fest that worked for 1 year and didn't really work the second year, or just never came together and happened again. The fest, like this fest, it just every year like it happens, and then me and everybody I work with talk about how we can do like things we didn't do well this year, how to improve it next year, things like that. Just to kind of it based always try to keep it where it's where we're trying to be better about the experience and all the things like that. Rather, just I mean, lineup is like every year is dependent on like I have a bunch of ideas, and sometimes it works out the way I want to, and sometimes it doesn't. But
Mhm.
just
A lot of red tape that you have to go through. Because is it in the same location that it was last year in Texas?
yeah, it's been in the same spot for the whole time.
Oh, great. So they
The
kind
only
of
thing,
have like
like,
a
it used to be an inside of the club, and now we use the big stage outside and the big stage inside. We don't use the small stage for the regular fest anymore.
very cool. And does it take about? I would assume it takes like a whole year after this festival is done. You're already like set to plan on next year.
I mean, I'm already working on next year, so I mean, it's a never ending insanity.
Has any of your bands, Necrofire or Necrobra, come out to LA over here?
Yeah, Negerfire was in LA like last year around this time. We were on the Decibel tour with Holder and a couple other bands like Worm and Devil Master. And then I think Night Cobra, it's been a couple years. I think 3 or so years ago, we played out at Don Quixote with Exciter.
Very cool. And how was the reception? I'm sure it was pretty.
It was great. I mean, I
Yeah,
love playing LA. Anytime LA shows are usually pretty wild.
very cool. Next time you come out here, man, I definitely want to check you out and like
Yeah.
catch up and maybe have a beer. I don't know if you drink, but man,
Oh
have.
yeah, let's go. Come down.
Tell us about your outstanding vinyl collection back there. How long have you been collecting?
Like probably since I was 15. Like when I was young, like honestly, like when I was punk, like when I first started collecting a lot of vinyl, it was cheaper to buy records during that time period than it was CDs, which sounds insane. But a lot of records back then were like 8, $10, and I was like, cool. And that's kind of how I started, and then it just kind of never stopped. And now it's like at critical mass or a little out of control.
Do you still have vinyl from back then when you started?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. What's one of your favorite pieces that you have?
Favorite piece I
Oh,
have
shoot.
this Watain box set that has like
Oh, wow.
it has all the stuff in it. It comes with a bunch of extra things like an ultra cloth and some other things, and booklets and all this stuff. And like a leather bound
Oh, man.
sits on the wooden case that has all the records on
Like actual human skin just dried to leather.
it. Not yet on that one. I'm sure it's coming soon.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, they're amazing. So again, talking with Christian Larson about Hell's Heroes, edition number 7 coming at you later on this month in March in Texas. What city in Texas again?
Houston.
Houston, Texas. Um, and there's been a lot of outstanding metal bands, a lot of death metal bands coming out of Texas right now. I think Creeping Death was one of them, Frozen Soul, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Can you recommend any other bands coming out of Texas, or what's in the water in Texas that's beating all these up? The scene.
There's a heavy metal band out of Dallas that just put out another EP called Myth Carver. It's straight traditional stuff. It's really good. Um, there's a band from Dallas called Tyrant's Might. It's black metal. Uh, like aviators and like bullet belts kind of stuff. It's cool.
Nice.
What else is good in Texas? Uh, Houston have like Oath of Cruelty, good band. Some stuff in Austin. I don't know. It's kind of all over the place, but there's a bunch of new stuff coming out. Like in Houston, there's all these new thrash bands. Like I mean, new like for the last couple of years, like Labyrinth and Nemesis, and there's a bunch of other ones I'm missing in there. Void from Lafayette, that's close enough, you know. But there's a decent amount of like stuff happening down in the South.
It sounds like it, yeah, like a lot of good music coming out of Texas, so that's really fucking awesome. Um, how important to you is it to kind of help the underground push the underground into like the spotlight and get more attention as opposed to like all these mainstream bands that just, they're still great and all doing what they do, but like, I myself love a lot of underground bands and discovering bands, and part of like this of what I do is just to go out there and discover bands while as people are just kind of they just sit at home and they kind of just
I
eat
mean, I
whatever's
listen to
fed to
I
them.
listen to a whole bunch of different like genre. I mean, like I listen to stuff all over the board. I mean, a lot of like I listen to a lot of metal, of course. I listen to like a lot of dark wave and goth. But I mean, that's just super important to me. I mean, like a bunch of bands on the festival aren't big bands; they're just good bands. I mean, in the overall scheme, but like whenever everybody comes together in at the fest, a lot of this like especially a lot of the traditional stuff. It's the biggest fest for it in America. So you see basically like all their fans from all over the country there. So they have like really big shows, and it's really cool to see that.
And I swear, like it's always rewarding putting a spotlight on these bands that like they want the attention and they just and play big festivals where they're
Yeah.
exposed to other audiences and share stages with other amazing bands and make that connection. So, um, tell us as far as like the planning goes for those like I out here in LA on a much smaller scale, of course. I was promoting bands, promoting shows as well, and managing my own bands and stuff like that. For those that are like looking to put together either concerts or festivals, um, tell us a little bit about of the ordeal, the headaches, and some of the positives that you deal with when you're putting together a show.
I mean, without just kind of breaking everything down, like, like
There's a lot.
it's just, I mean, like, it's not much more complicated than you think it is. I mean, you've done it, like we're talking about, but most of it's just doing it. Like, because a lot of people I feel like talk about, oh, I'm going to put this together or do this, but I mean, especially you play in a band, like, call a club, set up a show, you set up you and your friends' bands, bring like somebody from out of town, and you're basically. I mean, you're putting on a show because you're the band, but you're also kind of the promoter because you'll be promoting it and you set the whole thing up.
And it takes a lot of work, man, a lot of headache, a lot
Yeah, I
of
mean,
back and
yeah, I
forth.
mean, basically, yeah. And the more you like, the bigger things you do, the more work it is. But I mean, it's a lot of it boils down to the same things. There's just a whole lot extra attached to it when it gets like when the shows get bigger and things like that.
Yeah, you cross a point where like you're the one constantly reaching out to bands and like, hey, you want to do this? You get to that point where then they start contacting you, being part of what you're doing, right? Makes things a lot easier where you're just like, oh, hey, thanks. I don't have to
Like,
track
yeah,
down these
I mean, like,
bands.
'cause there's some stuff that's played the fest where I didn't even know it was doing it, and they just asked me about it. So like, that's nice when some things happen like that, when people come to you, like instead of just me constantly chasing some stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, but either way, like, I mean, both ways it's good because a lot of time I have made up in my head what I want to do anyways,
right.
and most of the stuff like with the bands on the fest, I'm just gonna put who I want to put on it. So I
Oh,
mean,
sure,
but
yeah.
so it's but like it's cool. Like sometimes I'll have something like this year, John Christ, like he had one of the guys that works for him was like, "Hey, would you be interested in this?" And I was like, "For sure." Like, let's do this. But I didn't know that was a possibility before that.
Hmm. I'm sure, like as every year goes on, you're like kind of like surprised that like somebody contacting you is like, hey, can we want to jump on this, because yeah, this is one of the best American festivals happening right now.
Thanks, man.
America is really short on, festivals. We have, I mean, the Milwaukee, is back, but you have festivals like this that are like dedicated. Not it's not your mayhem festival. Ozfest is gone. you know,
Yeah.
we have stuff like this, Hells and Heroes. What festivals have you attended in the past? What were some of your favorites?
My favorite festival I go to it's Beyond the Gates in Norway, like in Bergen. It's in August every year.
Mhm.
In the States, MDF. MDF's always, I mean, they've been going for 25 years. It's an amazing fest, always bringing in crazy stuff.
Yeah, Maryland Death Fest.
And well, yeah.
Yeah, I might be planning to go to Alcatraz
Okay,
for the
cool.
festival out there in Belgium. It's kind of in the works. I have a friend out there who's like urging me to go. So I have yet to pop my cherry on festivals outside of the states. So I think I'm due,
I mean,
right?
European fests are fun. Like, it's worth like if you see something. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of big fests, like
Hmm.
say something over 5,000 people.
Yeah.
Usually something small. Like it's like when it starts getting in that range, there's a bunch of bands I don't want to see.
Right.
Like things I'll go to usually consist of if I go to a fest, it's like most of the fest has to be stuff I'm like, oh shit, I haven't seen that and I want to see that. And think, which
Yeah.
means a lot. It's European, but that's just how it goes.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Like a lot of the fests lately, kind of like it's good to like have different tastes, but like you said,
Mhm.
it's like sometimes you don't want to catch these other bands. It's like you want it. Almost like this is the thing about Hell's Heroes. It's like it's pretty specific to like I think what everybody enjoys and everybody likes. A lot of like-minded people, and that's what I love about it. So congrats, 7 years right here. Well, not 7 years. I guess. How was it during the pandemic? Did you take a big hit on that?
No, the fest ended up canceling. I mean, of course, and then I mean, I wasn't doing much at all. So like over the 2 years, but the year it came back afterwards, I made it bigger and it sold out in like a week. So I mean, it came back well. So it was like, okay, cool, that was good.
Was it like difficult getting back on the ball when things were opening up and after those 2 years was like a lot of like restrictions and paperwork to sign?
No, I mean we're in Texas. No one cares.
See,
Right.
there you go. I found that find that astonishing. Even like well, I'm here in Los Angeles, but as things were opening up, like I would go out to Orange County where shit was happening. Shows were happening. I was playing out there, and like you wouldn't think anything was going on, and like there was no mask. Nobody gave a fuck. It was like what? Take that mask off. I was like, come on, it's all open minded. So I was like, but LA, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, even after like everything opened up, especially because it was so normal here after after a certain time, that it was weird traveling in the states, and I go somewhere else, and I'm like, oh, this is still happening here because
Yeah,
the United States is a giant place in different areas, or especially like where you're at dictates how everything is. So just because everything had been back to like mostly back to normal here, it was weird to see stuff in other parts. Like, okay, what's going on?
yeah, but that's the love that we have for metal. Uh, the lockdowns and everything made us appreciate more of what we were missing,
Oh, for
right?
sure.
Yeah, so like now, thankfully, we have festivals like this that like just it's a release. Everybody wants to come out there and just have a good time and be around people that they share the common interests and stuff. So Christian Larson right here, Hell's Heroes edition number 7, coming at the end of March 20th through the 22nd, with pre-parties and after parties in Houston, Texas. Necrofire. Um, how long have you guys been an entity?
2018. So going about 7 years about now.
How many records do you guys have under your belt?
We have 2 records EP, and then we have a third record that's sometime later, like coming soon.
Very cool. Have you guys been overseas on any shows out there?
We haven't played overseas yet. Hopefully, I think something after the next record will make it over there, but nothing's worked out in that way yet.
And how long has Night Cobra been around?
Night Cobra about the same time. Necrofire's a little bit busier than Night Cobra. Uh, Night Cobra's done like a little run like in California and like something in Texas, but most of the time I feel like we just end up working on new music and just we don't play as often.
When you were coming up, how old are you, by the way?
44.
44, 46.
Nice.
What was going on that kind of influenced you to become a metalhead?
I had my friends and family visit from Norway when I was a kid. My dad's friends, and like the son was 16. I think I was like 12. And this had been like 92, and he bought like every metal record that was out. At the time, I didn't even know what any of them sounded like. All I know is like I saw the art, and I was like, I don't know what this is, but no, this is what I want. This is what I got to get into. Whatever this is.
Right. That's what I love is like back in the day, you didn't know. You just kind
Yeah.
of going like for me, I always the go-to is always like the Number of the Beast. When my brother had like a small little record connection, I'm going through it and I see like this amazing cover. I'm like, what is this? That was one of the things that just you gravitate to, right?
Yeah.
Uh, what were some of your favorite records growing up?
Favorite bands I was growing up were like Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Sepultura, Megadeth, Pantera. Like, I mean, that's like from like 12 to 15 or so was like like nonstop anything I listened to.
Yeah. And what's something that you're blasting a lot right now?
So I'm blasting a lot right now. What have I been listening to a lot lately? I've been jamming a lot of Virgin Steel lately. I don't know why. But in metal, I listen to like mostly black metal and heavy metal, so it's somewhere usually in that range.
Christian Larson, I appreciate your time. Hell's Heroes number 7 coming to Houston, Texas at the end of March. What do you want to tell some of the people who are coming out for the first time, some of the veterans that have been there every year? What do you want to say to them?
Just excited to see everybody. Have a good time as always. Anybody new, like welcome. First year, it should be fun. If you're from North, bring some sunscreen because it's
Uh,
Texas and it's warm usually in March. But it'll be a good time.
Very cool. And hopefully I'll make it next year to
Oh yeah.
edition number 8. And
Mhm.
like I said, if I don't catch you out here in LA, I'll catch you out there in Texas.
Sounds good.
All right, Christian, I appreciate your time. High
Thanks, man.
hails and horns to you and everybody in the Hell's Heroes camp. And thank you for putting on this festival, man. It's
Thank you.
really fucking awesome. All right, man. Cheers.
Have a good day, man.